What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I hope all of you guys are healthy and enjoying your day today. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the top 5, in my opinion, best cars that you guys can buy for under $10,000. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. I think this first car is going to get me a little bit of hate, but it is the first generation Honda Ridgeline, being like a 2006 to 2010 Honda Ridgeline. And if you guys are looking at those years under $10,000, you're going to be looking at one that probably has, 130 to 200 plus thousand miles. Now, some pros to the Ridgeline are that it would be a fantastic all-around vehicle. Whether you guys need to tow stuff around, like a boat that's under 5,000 pounds, jet skis, side-by-side, something like that, it will 100% do that. It also has a pretty decent sized bed. And one thing that's really awesome, and this is a huge pro to the Ridgeline, is that it has under bed storage. So you basically have a trunk under the bed of the truck. So that's really cool, and that is a huge pro to the Ridgeline. I think I went over this, but the other pro would be that it is ultra reliable, and it's also relatively inexpensive to keep on the road and maintain. So that is definitely the couple pros that I wanted to mention about the Ridgeline. Now, some of the cons that have to go along with the Ridgeline would be that it is a relatively ugly looking vehicle. However, if you don't care, style is subjective. If you don't care, then that is not a con in your book. However, the other con that is relatively proven is that it does get relatively poor gas mileage. Now, I average about 18.5 miles per gallon in mostly highway driving. However, I do drive relatively fast. My average speed is probably, 65 miles per hour. I don't know where I'm going, but my average speed is about 65 miles an hour, 65 to 75 miles an hour. So the fuel economy for me is really not all that good. Now, moving on to number 2 would be the late 90s to late 2000s Lexus LS sedan. Now, my buddy's brother just bought one of these cars, and it is actually pretty darn sweet. So if you're looking at one for under $10,000, you're looking at the mid to upper 100,000 mile range, which is to be expected because, it's a cheaper car, but it's also really nice. So a couple pros to the Lexus LS is that it's ultra luxurious. I sat in my buddy's brother's, again, 2003 Lexus LS 430, and in the back, the second row seats, the seats recline, the seats massage, the seats are heated. You get like a fold down vanity mirror. I mean, it's just an overall really nice interior. The shades go up for the 2 second row seats, as well as the trunk. There's a shade back there as well, so it's really luxurious. It's also super reliable, and it's also super comfortable as well. So those are the pros to the Lexus LS sedans. They're also relatively cheap to maintain as well. Now, some cons to the Lexus LS is that it is an older vehicle. So with older vehicles, you do have to do routine maintenance to them. So even though it's going to be very reliable, there's still some routine maintenance items that you do have to do, whether it be wheel bearings, the serpentine belt, brakes, stuff like that. You are going to have to do because it is an older vehicle, and those things also just have a lifespan in years and mileage, like the brakes and stuff like that. And then the other thing, or the other con, would be the styling. So in my opinion, I like the 2003, 2004 Lexus LS 430s. I think that those things look really good. But once you get like from the later, like 2006, 2007 Lexus LS sedans, personally, I don't really like the way that they look. However, that's something that you can get over, and that looks really do not matter if you're getting a comfortable, reliable, and just an overall fantastic daily driver. But that is a con, and again, styling is subjective. So this list is kind of all over the place. So I'm just letting you guys know that right now, that the third vehicle on this list is the C5 Corvette. Now, if you're looking at a C5 Corvette for $10,000 or under $10,000, you're looking at the upper 90 to mid 100,000 mile range. And the pros to the C5 Corvette, in my opinion, is that it is a manual transmission, or you can get a manual transmission in it. It's a V8, so, it's got plenty of get up and go. The fuel economy is fantastic. My uncle has a C5 Corvette. It's an 03 with the automatic, and he can do at 75 miles per hour, he's averaging, 28 to 30 miles per gallon. So the fuel economy is very, very good on the C5 Corvette, and he's got an automatic. So that's a 4-speed, so maybe the manual might even get better fuel economy than that, because the manual's got 6-speed. I know it's got different gear ratios and stuff like that, so I can't speak onto the manual fuel economy, but I do know that the automatic fuel economy is really, really good. And also just the sound of the C5 Corvette, it sounds absolutely fantastic, and it's a lot of fun to drive. And I guess the last pro to that would be, because it's got such good fuel economy, you could definitely daily drive it no problem, because it's got such great fuel economy. So it's not going to be that expensive to keep on the road. And like fuel economy wise, you do have to put premium fuel in it. I mean, you don't have to put premium fuel in it. I recommend putting premium fuel in it, but because you're getting such good fuel economy, you're not going to have to fill up as often. So really, your gas bill should be relatively low. Now, a couple cons to the C5 Corvette is that it might not be the most practical vehicle on this list. You know, it's a 2-seater, it's a hatch, you know, so it's not going to be the most reliable. If you guys got to carry around big stuff and it's going to be your only car, you know, you could definitely make do with it. You know, if you're only really driving yourself around and you have the occasional passenger with you, and you know, you have golf clubs or something like that, your golf clubs are going to fit in the back, no problem. They will fit. But you know, if you got to carry around big items, multiple dogs, stuff like that, it's really not going to be the most practical vehicle. And then also another con to that is that it's an unsafe vehicle. If you get in an accident, God forbid that happens, you know, it's a fiberglass body vehicle, so really it's not the most safe vehicle. So if you do get in an accident, 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose that battle, whether it be with a Camaro, with an SUV, something like that. You know, God forbid you slide it off a road as well into a telephone pole, you know, your outlook is going to be relatively bleak. But, you know, another con would be that it is relatively hard to get in and out of if you are an older person. So if you guys have bad knees, even if you're a younger person, it is relatively hard to get in and out of. But actually, I feel like it's easier to get in and out of than my 2010 Camaro SS that we're in right now. This one's lowered 1.5 inches all around, so maybe that has something to do with it. But I think it's just like the step in angle, or the step in height is a little bit better on the C5 Corvette. But again, it's going to could be relatively hard for some of you guys to step in and out of it, because it's still a low vehicle. Moving on to vehicle number 4. Now that would be the 2017 and up Nissan Sentra. You guys are probably like, you know, these are all older vehicles on this list, and I did want to bring in something that's newer, you know, 2017 and up, so that's definitely a newer vehicle. And if you guys are looking at one 2017 and up, under $10,000, you're looking at one that's around or above 100,000 miles. So it's not going to be the most low mile vehicle, but it's a newer vehicle, and it's about 100,000 miles. That has about 100,000 miles on it. And some pros to the Nissan Sentra would be that it is a newer vehicle. It's very good on fuel. It's got a spacious interior, and it is easy to park. So some of these other vehicles on this list are not the most easy vehicles to park. They are bigger. The Corvette's relatively easy to park because it is a smaller vehicle, but it's got a long nose to it. So the Sentra, you know, it's a very compact sedan. However, it's still very spacious on the interior, and it's very easy to park. I believe 2017, it has to legally have a backup camera, which makes it that much easier to park. Some cons to the Sentra would be that it is the cheapest Nissan that you can get. So because it's the cheapest Nissan that you can get, you know, the interior is rather cheap. Yeah, the insulation from the outside world is really not the greatest because it is a cheaper vehicle. So the manufacturers do have to cut corners in some places, and that would be like the interior materials. But if you guys want something that gets you from point A to point B, and you want something that's newer, it is a great vehicle. Now the other con would be some CVT issues. So personally, my mom has had 2 Nissan Rogues, both one 2016 and one 2019, and she hasn't really kept them over 50,000 miles. However, you know, she never had one CVT issue in the history of both cars that she had. So from personal experience, we haven't experienced any CVT issues. However, I have seen some people on some forums and stuff like that complain about CVT issues once they get up and over 100,000 miles. But again, from personal experience, haven't really had any issues with the CVT. Now, last but not least, vehicle number 5 would be the Toyota Prius. This would be like a mid-2000s to late 2000s Toyota Prius. And I know some people are gonna be like, really, the Toyota Prius? Yes, the Toyota Prius is on my list. Now, some pros to the Toyota Prius would obviously be the fuel economy. I mean, we know that Priuses can get 50 miles per gallon easily if you guys are driving around town and you're relatively easy on the throttle. And the other one, the other pro would be that it is ultra reliable. It's a Toyota, so obviously it's very reliable, and it's also relatively cheap to keep on the road when you're talking about maintenance costs and stuff like that. It is a relatively cheap vehicle to keep on the road. Now, a couple cons to the Prius would be that it's a Prius. You know what I mean? If you're a car enthusiast, you're gonna be like, oh man, I really don't want a Prius. They're slow, they look like a block of cheese, which I guess is another con. They're ugly. So those are the two cons. They're ugly, and they're not the most fun to drive. So if you guys are just looking for a vehicle that gets you from point A to point B, and you can do it cheaply, you can do it reliably, then the Prius is a great vehicle for under $10,000. Now, again, I said we are in my 2010 Camaro SS, so let's have a little bit of fun. Now that exhaust note really brings me into my next point, is that I am trying to switch up my content a little bit. So I do have two vehicles. I got this, and I also have a 1987 Ford F-150 that is going to be LS swapped. So again, this is a 2010 Camaro SS. This is a 6-speed manual. I did change the rear gear. It's got headers and a few other things. Like I mentioned, it was lowered 1.5 inches all around. So this is a very fun vehicle to drive around, but I had never really done it. I only have one video of this, and that is this on the dyno like 5 or 6 years ago. And so, I mean, do you guys want to see more videos or more content with this vehicle? If you guys do, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe we'll do a build to this, but we're also going to have some LS swapped F-150 content as well. So that's some content to look forward to. But again, if you guys want to see this 2010 Camaro, let me know in the comment section down below. There's something on the road. And if you guys do want to see it, I will make that happen, and we'll make videos with this. But again, let me know some other content ideas that you guys would like to see. Now, I am doing a giveaway. So if you guys are interested in a $25 Shell gas gift card, all you got to do to enter this giveaway is make sure you guys are subscribed to me on YouTube, and make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at 703speed. And once you're done, take a screenshot of you guys subscribed on YouTube, take a screenshot of you guys following me on Instagram, and send me a DM at 703speed of proof of you being subscribed and following me on Instagram, and that will immediately enter you guys into the $25 Shell gas card giveaway. Again, this is going to go on for about 2 weeks. This is a 2-week giveaway. So in the meantime, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. Make sure you guys are subscribed to me on the channel. And again, make sure you guys DM me proof on Instagram, and you guys are entered into the giveaway. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and I cannot do that without your guys' help. So if you guys would, please give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.